Hi everybody, this is Snook, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about being happy with yourself when you have to live on a budget, because it has its own challenges. This is a story about something that happened when I was 16 years old. I needed new tennis shoes, and I walked up to Kmart, which was the closest store in the little town that I lived in, and my feet are wide and it's hard to find shoes anyway, and it's hard to find comfortable shoes, and I just needed a pair of tennis shoes because I was working, I didn't have a car yet, and it was about a 3 mile walk to work, and it was about a 1.5 mile walk to school. I could have taken the bus, but at 16 you don't want to take a bus, or you didn't back then. So I just needed a pair of tennis shoes because I had worn my other shoes out, and I might have needed them for gym class too, I'm not sure. Anyway, the point is I needed a pair of tennis shoes, and I walked into Kmart, went over by the shoes, and I saw one of those big square wire bins, and inside of it, it had a bunch of bright baby blue tennis shoes, and they were $2.50. And I was like, whoa, $2.50, huh? But back then, nobody wore bright baby blue tennis shoes. You didn't. That's why there was a whole bin of bright baby blue tennis shoes on sale for $2.50. It was like, who thought this was a good color? I mean, nowadays they would, everybody would want them. Back then, nobody wanted them. So I decided to try them on, and the really killer is I put them on and they fit perfectly. And when I tell you that no shoe fits my foot perfectly, that is not a lie. The only time I got new shoes that I could slip right into was when I had a girlfriend. She would buy shoes, and I get sick of them, and they were almost worn out, and then she would be like, oh, try these on, do you like them? And they would then fit me perfectly. So unless my friend was giving away free shoes, and they were high heels or really cool boots or whatever, I never had shoes that I didn't have to break in and get blisters, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible, which is why I never liked wearing shoes, because they hurt. They hurt my feet. And they still do to this day. I hate shoes. But anyway, back to the story. So I knew what was going to happen. If I bought these bright blue pair of tennis shoes, I was going to be made fun of. Plain and simple. I was going to go to school with my tennis shoes on, and people were going to make fun of me. I mean, that's just the law of living and going to school and wearing something that's different, that is not considered cool or whatever. So I tried some other shoes on, but I kept going back to the $2.50 blue shoes because, number one, they were $2.50. Number two, they fit. And they were really comfortable. So I bought them. So, knowing what was ahead of me, because I'm not stupid, I decided to take the bus that morning to high school. And I got on the bus with my brand new bright baby blue tennis shoes. And I walked to the back of the bus and sat down next to people I knew. And not 20 seconds into it, somebody started teasing me about my shoes and the color. And I went, aren't these the coolest things? I said, they were $2.50 at Kmart. I said, and they are so comfortable. I said, you wouldn't believe how comfortable they are. And I wasn't lying about anything. I did exaggerate about how wonderful they, color-wise, they were. But other than that, and actually the bright blue kind of, grew on me. But again, not stupid, knew what was going to happen. And so I had people trying my shoes on the bus. I had people, by the time we got off the bus, which is not a very long drive, everybody was like, well, those are really cool shoes. And I'm like, yeah, they are. I really like them. So this happened to me throughout the whole day because, again, nobody wore that color shoe. And they were brand new. So they were like a neon shouting from, like a homing thing in the ocean that you can see from miles and miles away. So everybody and their brother had to tell me that I had on bright blue pairs of tennis shoes. And I'm like, yep, yeah, I do. They're really cool. They're really comfortable. And you know what? They were $2.50. And I bought them with my own money, and I really like them. You should try them. So, anyway, that was my first day with my bright blue pair of tennis shoes. And I came home from school, and I was like, so happy I could, number one, take my shoes off, and number two, didn't have to explain about my shoes anymore. So I went to school the next day, and I noticed that there was a few people that had the same tennis shoes that I had on. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Didn't say anything, but I just found it very interesting. And went about my day, and nobody mentioned my shoes that day. Nothing had happened. And a couple days later, there was more people that had the same bright blue pair of tennis shoes that I did. And then a person came up to me in school, and they were like, yeah, I really wanted a pair of those blue tennis shoes, and I went to Kmart with my mom. She finally had time to go and take me, and they were all out. And, I mean, there was a bin of tennis shoes when I had gone. 4 days later, there was none. And again, back then, this was not a popular color for people to wear. So, the moral here is that you can't always get everything that you want in the exact style, the exact anything. But it's how you look at what you have and appreciate it for what it is. And don't let others bring you down because this is all you can afford to have. And you're proud of what you've accomplished and what you've built for yourself. and how you might have to go with a $2 pair of tennis shoes, but you're not in debt, and they cover your feet, and you can walk from point A to point B, and your feet are not dirty, and they're not all cut up from walking on the road. So, no matter what, don't cut yourself or let anybody cut yourself down for wearing or having as much or as little as you have, and what kind of stuff you have. Because, once again, behind closed doors, that person that you think has everything, 10 to 1, they don't. There's a story behind every house, behind every window in every house. And the lesson of the blue tennis shoes stuck with me my whole life, because I wasn't the cool kid. My brother was. I wasn't. I was just his little sister. So, I wasn't popular by any means. I didn't have the good clothes. I was not a trendsetter by any means in school. So, if just by my attitude of not letting people cut me down for getting something that I was happy about, for 2 reasons. One was the price, and one was they fit. And really, 3, I got a new pair of shoes that I needed, that happened to be a god-awful color. And I was prepared ahead of time for what I knew was coming. Because back then, there was no, somebody's making fun of me, make them stop. You learned how to take care of yourself. And you learned how to stand up for yourself. So you knew what was coming. And you either learned how to deal with it, or you were miserable your whole life. I'm not saying that being a bully is a good thing. I'm just saying that that was how it was when I was growing up. There was no one that stepped in because somebody was picking on you about your color of your shoes. So you learned. So do not ever think that you're not good enough because of what you don't have. Because what you have is good enough. Because it's yours and it's paid for. And it keeps you warm and dry. And that's my ramble for today. Thanks so much for listening. And I really hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening,